Sharkie Gamer here. So today we're going to take a look at a one-handed controller for the PlayStation 1. This is called the ASCII Grip, and as you'll notice, I don't actually have the packaging for this one. I bought this used, so I don't actually have the box for it. So let's go straight into the controller's features. So firstly, it's got the standard PlayStation connection on the end of it there, and it's got a fairly long cable. Should be more than enough cable to go to where your PlayStation 1 is sitting. Kind of dwarfs the controller really of how much cable there is. Now this controller is a one-handed controller, so that's why it looks very unusual. It's designed with one hand in mind, so if you look at the grips on the back here, they're designed so that when you actually hold it, your fingers align perfectly, so it's very comfortable to hold with just one hand. And of course you can either hold it with your right hand or your left hand, so it's comfortable whichever hand you decide to use it with. So either hand is fine, it works with both just as well. Now going into the controller itself, down here you can see the name of it, ASCII Grip, PlayStation logo in the center there. And now going into the controls themselves, you can see right in the center here you've got a D-pad, and of course being a one-handed controller, they've taken everything from a standard digital PlayStation 1 gamepad and thrown it into this so you can use it with one hand. So this of course won't work with games that need an analog stick, but the games that just use digital, just use a D-pad, it'll be absolutely perfect for. Now the D-pad in the center here is quite nice, it feels quite nice, it moves quite nicely, responds quite nicely as well. Moving to the top here, up the top there you've got a select button and a start button. And these are up the top here, out of the way a little bit. You can still get them if you stretch, but they're out of the way so you don't accidentally press them while you're playing. Now on the sides here, on both of them, they're kind of mirrored. You've got the square button here, and the triangle button here, and here. The reason they do this on either side is that way, whatever hand you're holding, and whatever way you prefer to press those buttons, you can do. So if you prefer to hold it in your right hand and press these ones, you can, or if you prefer to press those while you're holding it. So whatever hand you're holding it in, you can press whatever side is more comfortable for you. And these buttons press down quite well, they respond quite well, so they should work with pretty much most games that need them. Now going down to the bottom here, and I'll try to get this a little bit in focus because they can be a bit hard to see. It says L1, R1, L2, and R2. So these would normally be your bumper buttons on the back of a normal gamepad, but they put them down here so they are included. And these buttons feel quite nice as well, very responsive, very easy to get to playing here. And then you can press down here to get those buttons. The bottom ones are a little bit of a stretch with the thumb, but you can still get them and they press down pretty easily, so you shouldn't really have a problem reaching them. Now turning it over onto the back of the controller here, you've got the circle and the square buttons. I'll try to get this a bit of focus here. So you've got square and you've got circle just there. And these press down well, and the idea is you use these on top and you use the fingers underneath here to reach those buttons. Really easy to reach, and they press down really nicely. They're a decent size as well, so you should be able to easily get those while you're reaching these on top with your thumb. Now of course the idea of this particular controller, it is a one-handed controller, so the whole idea of it is that you can play with one hand, so you have one hand free. So basically if you want to play with a one-handed controller, the other hand you can have a drink or something, you know, you could be eating something, whatever the case may be. But that is the biggest benefit with having a one-handed controller, is it keeps one hand free so you can actually eat or drink or, you know, have something else, you know, whatever. And it's a pretty cool looking controller, it works really well as well. Really nice and compacted, so it's not too big or anything like that. And it's a nice alternative to using a standard kind of gamepad, because it is a one-handed controller, so you can just kind of sit back and play, have a drink, not having to worry about holding a controller like this. So it's a very kind of laid back controller, and you can reach everything really easily. Press the buttons underneath, press the D-pad, hit the select and start to pause if you need to. So yeah, overall it's a very nice controller. It's a very good quality controller. The grip here has got a nice kind of rubberized textured grip there, so it's pretty nice to easy hold. It's pretty comfortable to hold as well. I don't think long term you would really get tired of this if you were playing for quite a few hours. It's fairly comfortable to hold with. The only thing I find is these buttons here are a little bit of stretch because you've got to move like your whole end of your hand there down a little bit to reach them. So those will be a little bit harder to get to, but these will be fine. Now another good thing about this is if you are like disabled, if you've been injured, you've lost an arm or something, and you want basically to play original PlayStation games with a one-handed controller, then this of course would also be good for that, because if you've only got one hand, then of course this is ideal because it's a one-handed controller. So it has different purposes. It's good for disabled, and it's also good for the lazy gamer that only wants to play with one hand while they're drinking or eating or doing something like that. So it fits both needs. Now this type of controller is also made for other platforms. So you've got different versions of this one released for other systems. Now I have all of those, so I will be releasing videos of all those eventually, so you can definitely keep an eye out for the other grip controllers. But guys, I think that's about all I can say about this one. It's a pretty cool controller. It's very easy to get a hold of, so if you want to get one of these things, there's usually plenty on eBay, and they're very common and very easy to get a hold of. They're usually pretty cheap if you just buy them loose like I did. I picked this up for pretty much under $5 because it was so cheap. But I know if you want to pay a little bit more, you can get one with a box these days. It used to be a bit harder to find one with a box, but now it seems it's not as hard, and you do see them quite regularly now. So they're not that too hard to get one if you still want to get one for your PlayStation 1 collection. But anyway guys, thanks for watching. I am Sharkie Gamer. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll keep some more gaming, control and accessory videos up very shortly. If you like this video, hit that like button. Really helps out a lot guys. And as always, feel free to leave a comment down below if you want to. And of course, share this video as it helps spread my video around. Anyway guys, thanks for watching.